Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to Countryside here on Manx Radio. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kirree Kermode. At the weekend, I went to Bishopscourt to the first Manannan Sheepdog trials.
And I went at not the first, certainly, the Andreas Root Show, or as it's known today, the Andreas Produce Show, and spoke to some of the people involved in some old traditions. Well, Kirree, we found ourselves at Bishopscourt Farm, up quite a long lane, where the sheepdog trials have been held before, but this one under a new group.
That's right. Richard Crowe, the chairman of the Manannan Sheepdog Trials, has organised a new group, just bringing people to come over from the UK and locals to have fun and try out the sport, not necessarily have the demand of some of the pressures of the other sheepdog trials, trying to qualify for national events and such like. I caught up with Richard Crowe and Michael Taggart at the field at Bishopscourt. Well, I'm here with Richard Crowe now. Fresh off the field, how did it go?
It went all right, yeah, there was no mishaps and we got round the course, so I was really pleased with it.
And that must be hard for you that's here most days with your dogs. You'll be used to the land and all the rest of it, so how does it work in your favour?
I think it definitely works in my favour. I'm not going to kid anybody. It certainly helps when you're running on home ground, like these fellas are coming from across and, you know, it's all strange to them, so yeah, it definitely helps. But you still have the atmosphere here, which is not usual, so but
and you're through to the final?
Yeah, through to the final with Ben on the first day, so I'm pleased so far.
Yeah. And how has it been for the competitors? You know, obviously it's quite nerve-wracking for you as the farmer and providing the sheep and all the rest of it. It's gone well?
Yeah, I've got really good feedback. Everyone seems really happy with the sheep and how they've behaved and how the course has been set out, and I haven't heard any complaints, so that's good news. Brilliant.
But how did it all come about? Obviously the Manannan Sheepdog trials now, a new one.
Yeah, well, we decided to just create this kind of Manannan sheepdog trial, and I asked a friend called Frank Satherwaite to organise a few people to come over. So he's invited, you know, a few of his friends from the Northern Sheepdog Society, and that's where it stemmed from as well. So. And they've come over and they've had to go through a bit of a rigmarole with this COVID thing of having to be double vaxxed and everything. So we're pleased.
And it is, like you say, lovely having the visitors back. And obviously, an event like this, it always draws the crowds.
Oh yeah, we've had a good turnout. Possibly not so much on today because it's been so windy and muggy and whatever. But yesterday we had a really good turnout and a fantastic day. But I have to say the sheep have actually ran better today. But I suppose it's with having a run yesterday, they're really running well today.
Oh no, it has been absolutely fantastic. So now from here, how does it go?
Well, we're hoping to have one maybe every year this year, and we want to keep it fairly small. We only want around about 25 to 30 dogs. We want it to be a very relaxed atmosphere, no pushing them through and no standard set, that everybody gets the run and everybody gets a fair run, because they're spending a lot of money to come over here. They want to have a good time, and I'm hoping these ones have had a good time as well.
And how has it been for the judge, Norman Christian? You know, he's an old hand at it.
Yeah, he's been a star. I mean, it's difficult to get judges over here, so I think he's enjoyed it. Well, I'm sure he's enjoyed it. And he was a brilliant handler himself, so he has a bit of dog and handler sympathy as well. Yeah. And
how has the field been generally?
It's been good. Yeah, I mean the course has been set up quite nice, and they seem to be getting on with it, and so
it's nice to see them getting round, like you say, and all getting finished, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't want to see it that the sheep are all over the place and there's no tidy runs at all. Everybody wants to just prove their dog can get round and do the job. So, I would say 100% of them have. Yeah. And
that's what you want to go home with, isn't it? Knowing that you've done the best you can.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And they certainly have, and we've thoroughly enjoyed their company, to be honest.
Well, Frank Satterthwaite, welcome to the Isle of Man.
I've been coming for years, 20 years maybe.
Well, I never. That's nearly Manx.
It was Portichet. They had the trial at Portichet.
That was a while ago now, yeah.
Yes, somebody said it'd be 20 years.
It would be, yeah. And how have you felt today as compared to Portichet back then?
Good. It's good. It's good to come.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? With the dog trials, wherever you are in the world, it's always getting with the people, good dogs, and having a good day out.
Right, and nice people.
Yeah, yeah. And how has it gone for you?
Oh, not too bad. My young dog went not well yesterday, but the other dog went well, and then I haven't made the last spell, but it's all right. He's gone well. They've gone well. I'm pleased with them.
But like you say, a young dog there, this is a perfect opportunity to get him out and get him going and get them under his belt, isn't it?
Well, sheep's quite good as well.
Ah, right.
There's maybe 1 or 2 lots where there's a rogue sheep comes.
Ah, I see, yeah.
But not too bad, but they're quite good as a sheep, and they're good to steer with the dogs.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're not good to steer, because you flank your dog, and then all of a sudden your dog's on the front of them. But these are good to steer, and they're just a little bit of a flank, and the turn, and they're good, yeah.
And like you say, points are lost and gained in certain areas.
Well, once you've lost them, you don't get them back.
Oh, no, right.
You don't get them back, so you have to be very careful while you're out there.
Yeah. And what do you think the secret is between the dog and the handler?
Well, I think keeping quiet and keeping relaxed, like if you can, because if you get boiled up, the dog senses it right away, and he boils up, and then you get boiled up, and then it just whoosh.
But watch there, from spectators' point of view, you just got a pen, 4 gates, in the middle of a field, basically, and you and the dog have got to get them 4 sheep in there.
That's right.
That must take hours and hours of training.
It's marvellous what you can teach a dog. It is, when you sit back and look, it's incredible, really, because they're just a dumb animal, and they're nearly human. That's it. And when you do get that connection with the one dog, you very nearly just know hand in hand what's coming next. Well, that's right. But they're not good to come by. He's good dogs. Not good to come by. Right. And is it through the genetics and breeding? Have you got to watch a certain line, or? Yes, you do that. But you can get the best. You can get a pup out of the best bitch in the country. Yep. And the best got by with the best dog, and just no good. Just no interest? No good. Don't maybe start to work and things like this, and then you get the one from the farmer next door. And you've got a good one. It's funny, like it's just funny. Look at the draw. Yeah, that's right. Because you do see the sales away, skipped in there. They go well. Tens of thousands of pounds for some of these dogs. They've gone silly money. Right. Yeah. And they'll not be all good ones, them. Right, okay. Not all of them, but that's right. And you do get to see them have a little bit of a run, do you, before you can buy and skip, and so you. Well, these video sales they've been having, lads have to put a video on, or lasses as well, put a video on Facebook or on the website, the auction website, and you can study them, and if you're needing a dog, well, take the chance. Take the chance. My word. But like you say, it's just that the connection that you two will have is what brings these dogs on, I suppose. That's right. Yes, that's right. How long will it take for a pup to come into its own? You sort of see them 8-10 weeks showing a bit of interest, Some do early, but I've never thought it's not good when they start too soon. Right, I because you take them to the sheep, and when they're little pups, and all they're doing is really chase about, and you're laughing at them, and then you can't catch them. But and then when they get to be about maybe 8-10 months old, and you start to train, they've done that too long, that chasing about, and they've got it all. That's all they want to do. And they take the training badly like that. So you can ruin them then if you take them too soon. I think you can a little. If they start to work about 10 months, a year old, or something like that, and they haven't done this chasing about, they're sometimes better. And you can maybe train them quicker as well, maybe a month or 6 weeks or something, whatever, depending on the dog. And is there much difference between your farm dog and your trial dog? A little bit. A good dog's always whatever, but the farmer, when you sell one to a farmer, we put them on what they call the sides. Right, okay. Lefts and rights. Yeah. And a farmer just shouts, well, I call it Arabic. Well, it just, you sell a dog, they've come by to the left normally, and away to the right, and then you sell them to a farmer, and they shush. Anything. I think the farmer needs training a lot of the time. Well, but it takes them a long time to get into the way. But when they get into the way, they do well with them. There's a lot of good lads that's farming that can run dogs well. This is it. And have you been a farmer in your time? No, I was builder. See, right. Retired builder. So how did you get into the dogs? Well, I just had an interest. Had a friend that I used to go with, and just a bit of a hobby. That's right. Yeah. Right. Not an expensive hobby, really. Just. If you get into the horses and that sort of thing, well, it can get expensive. I'm believing you can. But no, it's not an expensive hobby. It's a good hobby, and you know, you come to like this.
Yeah.
A lot of nice people.
Days out, and that's what it's always about, isn't it?
Just to come and give a bit of cheek.
Yeah.
And take a bit of cheek. You know.
And hopefully do some winning in the process.
Well,
maybe.
that's right. Doesn't matter too much about that, but yes, it is a bonus when you do get a win or two. That's right.
No, brilliant.
That's right.
Well, that's lovely chatting to you,
Right.
Frank.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, we'll start with you, Victoria. Welcome to the Isle of Man. This is your first time here?
Yeah, first time, yeah.
And you brought along, who's this little fella?
This is Spot. He's my younger dog, and then I've got an older dog that we brought called Pip as well.
And how's it gone for you this weekend?
Yeah, good weekend. Pip won yesterday.
Oh, brilliant. Congratulations.
So she did well yesterday, and then she's had a good run today. And Spot's had a good run today as well, so it's going quite well.
Excellent. So how does that work towards the finals? Is it all done on points, or how's...
Yeah, the first top 4 go into the championship, what's like a double gather after the trial today, so me and Pip will be going in for that today.
And how do you feel? Are you nervous?
Very, yeah. This is my first time I've ever done a double gather, so it'll be interesting.
Word. Oh, fantastic. And how long have you had Pip, and how have you managed to train her?
Well, she's actually a gift. We bred her and then we sold her, and she went away to a man, and then eventually I started getting a little bit keen, and we would go and try and get a dog at Skipton, and the man who had her was there, and he says, "Oh, you can take Pip if you want, because I'm going to sell her, because I'm going to have to be a wagon driver." So we brought her home, and I started training with her and then trialling, and then started doing quite well in the new handlers, so he phoned up and he'd seen the results, and he said she can have her, she's doing so well with her.
Fantastic.
She's hers.
And I bet that was the best news you'd heard.
Yeah, I was delighted. So and I'm a childminder as well, so she's brilliant with the kids. So Monday to Friday she's a childminder and then Saturdays, Sundays she's sheepdog trials.
Oh, but that'll be a perfect balance, isn't it? You're just that connection between the two of you, which is pretty important for this job.
Very much
but
so.
then also keeping a hand in with what they're originally bred for, I suppose, sheepdog.
Yeah, that's it. She loves it as well. She's absolutely loves what she does, and we're a proper team together. And me and Spot are just starting to get more and more together as each time. So
brilliant!
Exciting.
Yeah, happy boy, isn't he?
Yeah, very.
And you've got your friend here, Matt. You're all the way over from Lake District.
Yeah. Just come over for the weekend for trials, which has been good. The weather's been nice, so it's all been good.
And how have you got on?
Not as well as Victoria. I'm not as professional, but no, quite pleased. The trial's been really good. It's been really well set out, and the sheep have been good. Just could have done with a bit more luck.
And do you know what? It's funny how you say that. Some people say it is just sometimes luck on the day. That can't be true.
No, Victoria wouldn't agree. She's just done a really good job running the dogs. You need a bit. You do need a bit of good luck. The sheep need to be good. Things need to be working in your favour. But if you put plenty of training in, then you get better results. So
and with you, you're obviously up in the hills working away. Are these dogs what you'd take to work each day with you?
Yeah, they're my only workmates. It's just me and the dogs on the hills, which is I love it. Just spending all day with the dogs. Better than people.
You know, many people do say that, and I think I have to agree with that sometimes as well. But no, that connection that you have with them, it must be quite hard, because you'll need them to be strong on the hill and obviously a little bit more settled back in this job in the field. Yeah,
definitely. It's a lot more precise on the field, and on the trial field they've really got to work between us, and every little movement counts. Where on the hill you can go a long way wrong and still not be too far away. There's a lot more scope. They're running along longer distances.
And will they think for themselves on the hill as well? Whereas here they're fully under your control. Like, you know, is that an attribute they have?
Yeah. That's probably why they haven't done so well today under my control. But on the hill, if they go behind a crag or something, or behind a hill, they've got to think what they're doing for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, so how old are your ones? Will they be back again?
Hopefully next year we'll be back. Jill's 5 and Tim's 6.
Oh, so there's plenty of years left in them, really.
A few more years, yeah.
Well, Gavin, I spoke to your boy Matthew there just before, and he hasn't had so much luck as you had.
Well, no, he's done all right, but he hasn't just worked as well as he might have hoped. But we've got one through to the double gather, definitely. So. And
how challenging will that be, the double gather?
It's always a bit challenging, but hopefully we can master it. You just need your dog to listen for a blowback. If the sheep, the sheep can help you or not help you, but hopefully it'll go okay. Yeah.
So how does that change from the runs that you've been doing?
Yeah. Well, the most change is you're putting your dog round on one side, and you fetch the sheep so far, but then you put your dog back for the second gather to pick another packet of sheep up. So it makes it rather more difficult. Your dog's got to look back again, and not all dogs have done that before.
No. And is that quite hard to train them to do that?
It can be a bit difficult, but if they're at work quite a bit, they pick it up.
Yeah, and especially in your line of work, you'll need a dog to think for itself a little bit.
We do, yeah. We do quite a lot of fell work with our dogs, so they've got to use their own brains a little bit. That's where we maybe come short and they use theirs.
And how do you come about your dogs?
We've bought them both, actually, that I've got here today. We have got some pups by one of them now, but we've mostly buy dogs. If we see something young that we like, we'll pick one up. But I've had quite a good dog at the moment, so I've bred some of my own pups, and hopefully they'll come through.
And that's it. It's sometimes a bit of luck of the draw.
Definitely. We've had pups before and it hasn't really worked, but some have. You don't know.
No. And how do you feel for the final?
I'm not worried about it, but I'm not going in with too much confidence. Just take it as it comes. Yeah.
And every final will be different. It's you just don't know until the day.
No, that's right. You're dealing with animals quite a bit, and it's there's all sorts can go wrong.
Yeah, a bit
all right.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's right for you today, Gavin. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Michael Taggart, you're never too far away from these good events put on, the Sheepdog Trials.
Yeah, we're here today up at Crow's Bishopscourt here up on Bishop's Domain here, and a grand view it is. We've got a lot of competitors over from the north of England, I would say, up from Barnard Castle and around that area, down into the Lakeland Fells. Good people and nice people to talk to. Yeah, so we've got 25 competitors and there's a few Manx competitors as well.
But coming from them areas there, Michael, them fells, my God, you'll need a good dog up there.
Oh, you'd want tough dogs, and there's one lad here, he's a shepherd, he's contract shepherding, and he's contract shepherding on 3,900 acre hill farm. That's Matthew Fennan. And Gavin, his father, he's got 1,000 fell ewes and 60 suckler cows, so he's kept busy, doing well.
So to take them out of their farming enterprises to come here, that's a long weekend out, isn't it?
It is a long weekend, but it's what he says. You get on that boat and over to the Isle of Man we come, and it's a holiday for them, and it's exactly the same like yourself, Kirree. You go away to a sail and you get on that boat and it's finished for the... You can't go home at night time.
This is it, and what an enjoyment it is. There's plenty of people watching too.
Oh, there's lots of Manx people here watching, and it's nice, and it's a proper one man and his dog. Yeah, it's lovely, yeah.
And back to your competitors there, Michael, you were saying that the local boys are having a go too.
Yeah, we've got... David Brew from Ballackennig. We've had Finn Partington up here. I even had a little dabble, but we won't go into that.
But the main man organising it, Richard Crowe, he's competing too.
Yeah, Richard's competing. Yeah, he's ran 2 or 3 dogs here today, and we got to remember young Freddie, his son. He had a little bit of a hiccup on the Friday, but he had a tremendous run here on the Saturday, and he had a tremendous run here on the Sunday morning. So he's made up with himself now and made it all better. It was going a bit horrible for him yesterday, but he's back in it now. Yeah.
And how are the sheep been? Because sometimes you get to these events and they can be wild as the hills, and other times a bit steady.
Yeah, the sheep have been well behaved. The competitors are all happy with them, but the sheep are starting to get a little bit wise now on the second day. They're not wanting to shed off, and that's what makes the competition. That the sheep are behaving themselves, and you've just got to work with the dog and just take your time when you're doing that shed, and that's the main. You can gain or lose a lot of points on it.
And you're saying the competitors there, it can be within, some days have a good run, the next day not so good. Yeah. Well, some of these are old hands at it, We've got some national finalists here.
Yeah, we've got Frank Cecilthwaite. He's been over here many times, and Frank, he's a retired builder. He's competed in the English national team 3 times. He's taken part in the international and twice made it through to the last day. He's also judged numerous dog trials in Holland and Italy, so he gets round as well. Not bad for a retired builder.
Well, like you say, him here in amongst the thick of it with all of us, it could go either way for him.
It can. And there's young Victoria, she's doing a sterling job. Yeah, she's done a real good run. She's had some tremendous, and it's any sort of business, and she's a full-time childminder.
So it just goes to show you don't have to be an agricultural person.
You don't have to be an agricultural person. I love dogs and enjoy the outdoor.
And what do you think it is to get that connection, between the dog and the handler? What is it?
Patience. Patience. That's it. That's all it is, and just a love of it. Yeah. So it's good fun.
And that's what it's all about, is having that fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I was talking to one or two of the competitors, and they said they've come here. There's no pressure on. There's no worry about making a bit of a hiccup or whatever. It's just one of them things, and they've really enjoyed the time, I think. I've not heard a bad word said anyway, so I hope they have.
This is it.
The only problem they're going to have is they could have got on that boat tonight, and it's looking a bit choppy out there for me.
It certainly is. At least the fog's gone.
Yeah.
But what about the course, Michael? How difficult was it?
I think it was reasonable. It was reasonable. There was no hard parts about it. It's a standard sort of run for people, and it's a good course. Everybody says that you can look into it. You can see what your dog's doing. There's no hidden gaps or anything. Hollers that they can't see what the sheep are doing. So it's a grand view. Yeah. For all the competitors.
So who's going to win it then? Any predictions? You've been commentating?
I'm not saying anything. I'm keeping my mouth shut because the judge will know, and that's Norman Christian.
Yeah, he's an old hand at this job too.
Yeah, he's done a lot of judging, and Norman's competed in dog trials for years and years, and his son's coming through. He's judged. He's been competing in One Man and His Dog, Robbie Christian, and now his grandchildren have got their own dogs now, Freddie and Eddie. So yeah, Frankie and Eddie, I should say, and good.
Full family.
Full family of dogs.
Well, for their type of farming there, that you've got the hill sheep and the mules, they need a good dog.
Oh yeah, extensive range. They're running 2,000 acres up here on Michael Hills. So Robbie and Frankie and Eddie, they're coming into their own now with Heather behind them. Need a good woman behind them.
Don't be just. Well, no, they're good farmers, and like you say, a good dog. And days like today, enjoying what they do.
Yeah. And Norman gets up and watches them going now, and just keeps an eye on them, keeping his eye on them. Yeah.
That was Michael Taggart, the commentator for the 2 days there at Bishopscourt, along with some of the guests. Frank Satterthwaite, Victoria Graham, father and son Matthew and Gavin Fearon, and the organiser and chairman of the Manannan Sheepdogs was Richard Crowe.
Well, she was a blustery old time up on the hills there, and pretty tricky conditions, I'd imagine, for the dogs trying to hear whistles from that distance away, but all good fun and a good crowd there.
It was lovely for people to watch, and an age-old tradition, the farmer there with a dog. Young farmers don't do that anymore. They get tractors and machinery and quads and trucks, but to see that the handler and the dog working in harmony, just nothing like it, is there?
Yeah, and great to see. You'd think there would only be the older generation in it, but great to see some of the younger ones taking part, wasn't it?
Yeah, Victoria Graham there, the visitor from Cumbria, and Matthew Fearon, two young people, just having a great time, and Victoria doing exceptionally well on the first 2 days. But like they said, the passion for the dog shone through, and obviously it's all luck of the draw some of the time.
Yes, it is. The old sheep can be a bit of a devil, as you know. You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kirree Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, one tradition that's been going many years up the north of the Isle of Man is the Andreas Root Show, or as it's known today, the Andreas Produce Show. I spoke to some of the people who were taking part and had exhibited some bits and pieces in various sections of the event. But firstly, I spoke to a well-known northern farmer for many, many years, Ronnie Fairbairn, who was judging an unusual activity that was going on, which you don't see very often these days.
No, everything's dying out the old-fashioned way with modern technology and combines. But before, we used to always stack the corn out in the field in the hacket. There was no barns, and you had to make thatch, go and cut rushes for a thatch or pull straw, and then you had to make thumb rope to tie the thatch on. It was just things were different in the farming. There wasn't much money going, and you buying kayar rope and stuff to put on the stacks was an awful job. So rucks too, the rucks of hay. Used to always twist the hay too to stop the ruck from blowing away in out in the fields.
So they would make these ropes by twisting the straw around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot more cost effective, I'd imagine, than buying them.
Oh well, yeah. there wasn't everybody who could afford to buy them. Times was hard on the farms that time, like. I used to have everything had to be used twice. Yes.
And was there a particular straw that was better for it? Was it oats one?
There was nearly all oat straw, but if you could get wheat straw for thatching, it was better to thatch with was wheat straw than oat, because it was straight and longer, like.
Yeah.
But when the combines came in, they were crushing the straw all up, like. So this straw here today has been specially cut, I think, for this job, and it's looking to be good rope coming.
What I mean, did it need to be fairly perfect? Was it a good technique?
No,
as long as it was reasonable.
As long as you were made to hold the thatch on the stacks was the main thing. Oh, there was some times you break and burn nothing.
Really?
Oh, yes. Oh, we didn't throw them away at all. Yes, they were a tough time, but every wet day you had to go and make these rope because it wasn't fit to put corn in, like.
Right. So they used to throw thatch over the haystacks and cover them with that. Was that the only use they had, really?
Oh, I was only rushes or pulling straw, but thatching with wheat straw. The mill that would be just put down in the thrashing mill, just the sheep, so it wasn't broke. It would come out the back, just the head took off it, the grain took out.
But when you look at it, Ronnie, you've been farming all your life, and you've seen this done from the cutting it with scythes, I'd imagine, and doing it with combines and thrashing.
I've seen some fields cut with the scythe, and then the horse reaper came in with a sheepload on, and you had 2 men on there, 3 horses and 2 men sitting on, and 1 man working his foot, and he would pull straw, sheep corn onto it, and then when it got enough for a sheep, drop it off, and the women come and stand on it.
Yeah. Was that a leap forward in them days to that?
Must have been at some time, but when the binder came out, by gum, that was mighty then.
Was it?
Yeah. Except when it was a wet year, and the ground was wet, and it was only driven by 1 wheel. And come the horses were jibbing, and then getting cross. Oh, yes.
But then the self-propelled combine come in, change things.
The self-propelled, but the first ones come out, I've seen 3 or 4 tractors cropping through the straw corn to pull it out.
Really?
Oh, I some field. The fields don't seem to be as wet these days as they used to be them times.
But it's great to see a tradition like this still being
lovely to see
the public. Lots haven't seen it,
and especially see these young ones coming here today to do this is fantastic.
Yeah, because they've got like a bit and brace drill, really, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Well, it's the part of the drill, and they've made into a thing which was always. Sometimes you only had to twist it by hand. Somebody later on came onto this idea of putting a brace and pit onto the job.
Bit easier on the fingers.
Oh, a lot easier too.
Beryl Brightson, great to see you at Andreas Root Show. You've been here displaying various items, a big family effort too.
Yes, we usually support the craft section. I've grown up around supporting the root shows and the horticulture shows on the island. My father was a big supporter, showing chrysanthemums and gladioli and vegetables. And my mother always entered knitting and crocheting in the craft classes. And I followed on, and I produce knitting and crochet items and craft items. And this year now, my daughter has started to show, and my grandson has done things for the children's classes as well.
Wow, that's some family tradition and history, isn't it?
It's gone back since I was a child. I'd say when my father and my mother was always supporting all small shows on the island, and we always trotted along, and it's just a lovely atmosphere. It's lovely to keep as we find in here, the traditions of these small shows. It's lovely to keep them going.
You'd think that in this day and age people wouldn't be bothered going to this sort of thing, but look at it here, Andreas. It's packed, and it's like this at the majority of them, isn't it?
It is, yes. It's lovely to see. We like to support. We also like the auctions afterwards, and picking up some nice fresh bargains to go home with. But it's supporting the local communities as well, which is lovely to do. But the young people are involved in it a lot. and it's just lovely to see all the children's work in the shows.
Well, Pam Kirree, the lovely cup that you've just received there for your service to the Root Show.
Yes, it is. It's very nice. Yeah.
And of course, retiring now is quite a long time involved in the Root Show and the Andreas Produce Show.
Yes, 34 years as secretary and 4 years as assistant. Yeah, but I've been involved over 40 years because my husband was in the Sheepdogs when they were running the Sheepdog trials, so it's well over 40 years. Yeah.
Has much changed? Because you do keep a lot of the traditional things in.
Yes, well, we have kept all the Sagain and Lankets and all in the classes, but we've added new ones over the years.
Has there been a highlight so far over the years? Some bizarre exhibit that you've seen in that has been, wow, that caught your eye?
Oh, I think the pumpkins. The big pumpkins, that's been a big change, yes.
Yeah, but they're always, you think these sort of things would be slipping in popularity, but look at the hall today.
It is, it's lovely. After COVID, you know, you sort of got to start again, and I think it's been lovely today, you know, it is very nice. Yeah. They've done a good job.
Of course, I suppose, is there a favourite section for yourself? You've always been involved in the garden and the flower side, I suppose, have you?
Oh, no, I'm no gardener at all. Preserves and cakes is more in my line, yeah.
But do you get the chance to get a couple of jars from the competitors to this?
No, and the varieties have changed too. I mean, today we had watermelon jam, so things are different.
Yeah, well, we were out picking blackberries the other day, and still loads on the hedge. It's as if nobody can be bothered anymore.
Well, I don't think they do. When you see apple trees with loads of apples on and they're just left to fall on the ground, you know, don't think people bother the same. But no, I like to do a bit. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with all your spare time now? Take up cycling or triathlon or something?
I haven't got much spare time, I'm afraid. No, I want to fill my time with something to do. I like to be busy.
Yeah, well, a great recognition you got from the parish of Andreas today, and well done on your time served.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Pam Kirree there, the secretary for over 30 years of the Root Show and Andreas Produce Show, getting rightly awarded that wonderful cup that she got there. Also Beryl Bridson, who was showing some bits and pieces. Good family affair there, all in different classes. And firstly, Ronnie Fairbairn, who's been supporting it, and good knowledge of them old events like the Sagain and the blanket making, Kirree.
Unbelievable.
Them days are gone, but it's good to still see them making them at events like that.
That's it. It's so important to keep our history and culture alive, isn't it? And did you take part?
No, but I was watching.
Oh, okay. But the many, many years that people come back year on year to have a go with a pot of jam or cake or whatever it is, or to grow the vegetables to see if they can better their neighbour or better the competition, and they live for these events.
Yeah, and the school kids involved in a lot of these today with the writings on the wall and their pictures and the craft that they do. You never know what people get up to behind closed doors, do you?
Certainly not, and it's a great platform for some of those young people to take a notion. Who knows, they could be the next Mary Berry.
But it's been a busy weekend, Kirree, really. I was out with the Beach Buddies crew on Sunday morning, picking up some litter from the hedges around Derby.
There's plenty to do. The Harvest Homes are coming up. I believe there's a really good one there in Glenmay Village on Sunday night too. So always look out for those dates.
Yes, and there's an event happening on the Orrisdale Loop Road, which we'll tell you more about on next week's programme. And also the Manx Bantam Fur and Feather Show will be happening on Sunday, the 17th of October, in the Memorial Hall in Union Mills. If you want to catch up with the interviews in full, listen to the podcast on Manx Radio's website, and we're back next Tuesday with more. So until then, from me, Simon Clark.
I'm me, Kirree Kermode.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.